Cycle is one of the strongest and most popular archetypes in the entire game with hundreds of different combinations. In this video, we'll go over the 5 strongest Cycle decks and how to absolutely crush your opponents with them. Jumping into a game with baits, I wanted to let you guys know that I actually talked to several different pros to help me put together this video so I could provide you with the best tips and advice for becoming a Cycle player, because I want to make this video as helpful as I could. So starting off, one of the most important things I think every Cycle player needs to learn is that we need to be able to play offense while defending. This isn't like a guarantee, you don't always do this, but one of the biggest things you can do to make defense easier for you, especially if you're struggling as a new Cycle player, is to play offense while playing defense. So obviously it won't happen in every single scenario, but we usually want to make it so that when my opponent goes in for a push, like usually this is with beatdown like Pekka and Goblin Giant and anything else, you want to apply pressure in the opposite lane with cards that are difficult for your opponent to ignore. So you want to try and put together whatever Cycle deck you're using, because this applies to every single one. Whatever Cycle deck you're using, make sure to apply offense while you're defending to make your defense easier. This is a, Wall Breaker's going to get a nice connection there. So I'm just kind of scouting out my opponent, seeing what the right plays are going to be. This is obviously a difficult matchup because he's got a very fast Cycle, he's got log, he's got delivery, he's got EQ for the cannon as well, and this deck just runs Dagger Duchess. I'm not actually sure exactly what the reasoning is for that, it just does. So we've got Valkyrie for the Hogs. I'm actually going to use it on the Queen, though it seems like the best use of my Valkyrie on that Queen, because the Goblin Gang would just get annihilated. So he does use the EQ here. I'll actually go with the barrel here. He's gonna have to respond to that princess as well, and he goes with a cannon on it. So this is gonna allow us, since he went very heavily in on offense, to get a ton of damage right there. And this might be a thing that a lot of Cycle players overlook, is how well you can apply pressure when your opponent's down elixir. You don't need to, obviously it would be helpful if you could count your opponent's elixir at all times, but I don't expect you to have like an abacus in your head telling you what your opponent's like elixir is at. You just want to kind of make sure that when you see your opponent play a lot of cards, you recognize that and you say, you know what, they're down elixir, let's capitalize and punish. So here this is actually nice, we should be able to keep this princess alive, which is very helpful, and the log comes down as well. We might be able to, nice Ice Spirit. We're going to go Valkyrie here. He's probably just going to EQ again. We can get an Ice Spirit down. As you can see, we're just kind of playing slow, playing patient, not stuttering. That's a big part of it as well. Dark Goblin actually outranges the cannon, so that's helpful as well. Let's go Goblin Barrel over here. Wall Breaker, since he's not quite back to cannon yet. Princess, since he just used his log, we're going to get a little bit of chip damage. And now, no, that is no. I got so close to keeping that princess alive. I was on timing there, bro, because I realized he used like all of his spells. He would have nothing for that, and I just messed it up barely. It's okay though, it don't matter too much. So let's go in with a princess on this side. We just want to kind of keep up dual lane pressure. He does do a very nice cannon there. We should be able to, I think, get the cannon low. Oh, look at that Dark Goblin. Oh my goodness, the Dark Goblin. Dude, there's no way. Dude, the Dark Goblin just absolutely clutched up. What? Hello, that was that secondary Dark Goblin was bad for me though, but we've got an Evo Valk ready to shine. I don't think we actually need to use it though, because he doesn't go in with the Hog, so that's pretty cool. As you can see, we're barely up damage, but we're trying to just apply pressure while keeping the spell cycling thing in check. We don't want him to, get a bunch of value with one spell, which I guess is a bait specific tip. We can kind of just spread out our cards. See, like here, this will be a good log value, but actually doesn't even end up mattering that much. What he's going to do when you have a champion in your deck is you can drop it in the back, and if I don't have a big spell to kill it, you're going to be able to get 3 cards Cycle, which is going to be very helpful for him. I imagine he just uses that ability over there. Okay, those were supposed to be Wall Breakers to defend the Queen. I don't know what those were. I apologize, chat. That was pitiful and disgusting, and I hope I never do that again. Okay, let's go. He probably logs or no, he's gonna delivery on the princess. I thought he was gonna log that for sure. Let's go over here with the Goblin Barrel and the Ice Spirit. This should be a good play here because he's gonna log the other side, thinking I'd go after that side, because that kind of makes sense, but kind of doesn't at the same time. We'll go cannon in this over here. We're trying to time it so the Earthquake can't get like the most value possible. Princess is putting in the work on that other side. He's definitely gonna play something predicted in. Oh, bro, that's so... That's actually AIDS, bro. That's actually AIDS. That's actually AIDS because this queen is going to lock on. He's at 2 HP. And you know what the best thing about this deck is? I don't have a way to get damage. So it looks like we're going to snatch this win out. But it does take a lot of like micro plays to be able to win games with Cycle. I hope that game was helpful to you. I kind of described several strategies that we were using throughout the game. Jumping into a game with Royal Hog Cycle, which I think might be the best option to pick up for a long-term deck, just because of how powerful it is and how strong and consistent it's been in recent metas. It's been a part of, I guess it fell off a little bit last year, and since then it has just been consistently good in the meta. However, there are several interactions that we're going to need to go over while we're doing this this gameplay, and we get Golem in the back. I guess I can't say first play, it was second play, but as you can see, he's probably going to, I would think he tornadoes it. Yeah, he does. And so what we're going to do here is wait till the absolute last second to pop this queen ability, and we'll just do it right here. We'll go cannon as well, and the golem will be around half HP by the time it makes it to the tower. And you can see how much easier it is to defend a golem when we apply opposite lane pressure. So we're just going in, dropping the delivery here, and this is just serving kind of like a multi-purpose of distracting the E-Drag as well as dealing good damage to it. And here we don't really have to worry about this too much. If he goes with the ability, we have skeletons ready. We can just go skeletons here, and I'm low-key down to go like, I think Royal Hogs here, which is kind of crazy. I'll actually go with the log as well, because you gotta respond to the hogs, and we kind of distracted there. I did them a bit late because I was hesitating, but that's okay. We can actually use a lot of win conditions to kite sometimes, which helps. You don't want to do it every time, obviously, but the good thing about cycle decks is you don't have to think too hard about cycling certain cards in single. Like, let's say we just use this cannon here. That's a little bit, you know, you'd think that's a little bit frustrating because we won't have it for the next golem, but then you realize that our cycle is ridiculously fast, so we won't have to worry about that. Let's go in opposite lane. Again, we always want to apply opposite lane pressure whenever our opponent goes in with a push, and we want to make it really hard for him to ignore this. And so I actually like that this queen's in the opposite lane, because he's gonna have to fully commit to just tanking the entire tower away, and now it's just solely based on how good I can play defense. We're gonna wait just a second to hit this queen ability, wait as long as physically possible, and I'll actually go with more Royal Hogs as well to just keep applying pressure so he's forced to respond, because there's no way that he could just tank all of these, and that's kind of your key to victory. Let's be clear, I'm not defending his golem E-Drag push at the river. So the strategy there was to go in on offense really heavily so that our opponent couldn't get his push to the tower in time. Hopping into a game with Drill, which might be the most beginner-friendly deck that we have in this video. This is really because of the Goblin Stein and NATO providing just unrelenting defense. And with all cycle decks, your most important thing is, or most important part of your game is going to be the defense and how well you can defend your opponent's pushes. An interesting defensive mortar, second play of the game from our opponents here. But yeah, you're going to want to make sure your defense is as clean as possible, because although you can get magical drills late in the game, it's not really, you can't really rely on making massive damage comebacks at the end of games. It's not a good way to play. We want to make sure that we're trying to stay ahead of our opponent the entire game. So obviously, with Drill specifically, there's lots of ways to think about outplaying the opponent, and it's more obvious in Drill than some other cycle decks, because Drill has pretty clear and obvious counters. So we're going to want to either out-cycle those counters or use the Goblin Stein or Tornado to get rid of those counters. Now, obviously, if you had a big spell in your deck, you'd be able to big spell the counters as well. Possibly like Snowball or something as well. Goes well with that's too many wells, man. Well, that's just too many of them. Fisherman will pull this in. We'll actually get some good ability value here. We should kill the Fisherman so we don't get pulled in there. It's kind of helpful. We'll actually just throw a Goblin Drill Bomber in the opposite lane as well, so my opponent can't back up this P.E.K.K.A. without taking a bunch of damage here. So we'll go Cannon as well. We get a couple of Goblin Stabs, nothing insane there. I'd like to save my Evo Ice Spirit because it's like a ridiculously broken Evo, so I'd like to just save it. I didn't need it there. We will take a Firecracker hit because it's a bit of sloppy defense from me, but as you can see, let's go in with Goblin Drill right away again. I'll use Skeletons here to distract this Mortar temporarily, and then Evo Bomber this guy to death. Oh, the Evo Bomber! That is insane, bro! That's insane. I wasn't expecting him to Goblin King on that, but absolutely, please give me one more. Dude, that's insane. That's insane. Because at the beginning of this video, I completely forgot to acknowledge just how broke. Yes, I did that Goblin stun on purpose because I want to go opposite lane now. But I just wanted to acknowledge the Evo Bomber because I absolutely did not. And he just rage quit. He just rage quit. You can do that with the Evo Bomber too. So with drill, it's kind of obvious. You're going to want to use the drill sparingly, but make sure that when you use the drill, you are aware of your opponent's counters and you use the Evo Bomber, the Goblin Stun, or the Tornado to get rid of those counters. And that's how you win games with Goblin Drill. Next up, we've got xbow, which is one of the most iconic cycle decks of all time, and this is really going to wrap together all your cycle skills. Obviously, this is a beautiful lava first player. We didn't have xbow right away, so we have to waste a knight as well. I guess it's not really a waste. It kind of helps tank a little bit, but against, I'm not going to give like lava specific matchup tips. I feel like that's not really what we're trying to go for. This deck is really going to help you in so many ways against every type of deck. You can really just learn a bunch of cycle tips. I'm actually just going to wait in a second and fireball. I feel like that's the best play here. And this is just what I'm trying to say is this deck will culminate all your cycle skills together from every different deck. You're going to need to play elite defense and understand when your opponent is giving you the opportunity to go in. And lava is kind of a weird match because it's one of those games where you just kind of, please hope I didn't, please tell me you didn't give up, man. You still got it. I promise. Don't make me play another game with xbow. So it does look like he hasn't given up yet, which is good. But what I'm saying is this deck is really going to help you culminate all your cycle skills together. He gave us the perfect opportunity to go in because he went with the lava in the back, and we wanted to really commit to our pushing the opposite lane. Basically, the whole objective of that push was to make it so that obviously this is going to be a really difficult time defending this, but we'll go archers here. We'll go with the Tesla up top. Sorry, my voice is just cutting out on me, bro. The cough is here. But look at this defense, bro. This is insane. I really didn't think I'd be able to defend that as well as we did, but Evo archers are just a menace. And as you can see, you can really understand sort of niche placements. You see what we did there to get those archers, or at least one of them to target the lava there. And as you can see, we also, can we limit the as you can see usage as well? I think that would be better for the content. But yeah, we can go in on offense when he goes in with offensive pushes there, because even if somehow he managed to stop our initial xbow, he wouldn't have been able to back up his lava hound, and he still, since he went with like that tombstone play, he still wasn't able to back up his lava hound very well, and we were able to defend it very efficiently. So that's what kind of happens when you're able to force your opponent to just have a really hard time playing because you apply opposite lane pressure. We've been talking about opposite lane pressure all day in this video. It is so important, and this is just the culmination of it being very important in this xbow game where we absolutely stomped this lava player. Cardi is never dropping this album. This guy needs to let it go. But anyways, Hog Earthquake, probably one of the most iconic decks as well, because everybody has faced it and got mad at this deck. I guarantee you everybody has got annoyed at this deck. It has gotten even stronger. This is Tornado player, you can just tell. But yeah, this deck has gotten even stronger with the Goblin Sign edition. Obviously, you can still play it to a degree with the Mighty Miner or the Knight, but the Goblin Sign is like an Ice Golem on steroids. Not only does it give you insanely like boosted defensive potential, it also allows you to just deal massive damage with offense and tank for your Hog as well. So we want to be going with a lot of Goblin Sign Hog Riders today. It's not today, but in this game, you know what I'm saying, man. It's been a long day. Let's go in with the firecracker here. We should be able to deal good damage to this. Kill it, inshallah. We'll be able to go in with skeletons here. Kill that executioner as well. Firecracker putting in the work here. I don't think I'm going to log this. I did kind of hope we were going to get some good value there, but we unfortunately gave up a Hog Rider hit, which is just bound to happen. This is going to be a little bit of a trickier tornado placement, I think. It actually isn't. But look at the little Larry! Look at the little Larry! Oh, and we're going to get an extra firecracker shot out of this. I thought that the Hog Rider got nudged by the skeleton and it would mess up the placement a little bit, but the little Larry didn't nudge the guy enough. But I can't hate on him. He got us massive damage there. So we'll go in with I think just the Ice Spirit. We're kind of just chilling here. We don't want to overcommit with the Goblin Stein or anything. I want to use that guy on offense if possible. I think we just maybe cycle Cannon here, and then we'll chill. We kind of want to, with this deck, understand that since, again, we don't have a big spell, which is a common theme with a lot of these cards, we've got to figure out consistent ways to get rid of his units. He actually just goes in with the straight rocket there. I don't know if he was trying to predict the Goblin Stein or what exactly happened there, but I will take it, to be honest. I will completely take it. And so he goes with that. We're actually going to be able to Firecracker here and hit the tower with this. You want to be unpredictable with your Firecrackers. Everybody knows that you can line up the Evo Firecracker to get a ridiculous hit on your opponent's tower, but you want to be kind of sparing with those and unpredictable. Obviously, if it looks like it's a really easy take, you kind of just don't want to do it immediately, because your opponent, if they're having any brain cells, is going to be able to understand and predict it. So unfortunately, he gets a nice little interaction with the Valkyrie there. I'm not too worried about that. He's going to try and just start rocket cycling us. We're going to need to make sure that we match the earthquakes. If your Hogs can't get through the tower, it is okay. You can just still get Firecracker, chip, and earthquake damage. Just kind of depends how you want to play. We're going to go Firecracker here. See if we can line up a log to kill some goblins or anything like that. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it, unfortunately, but Goblin Sun should help out. We'll get a nice little ability going, and we want to make sure we can also cycle an earthquake here if possible. Get an Ice Spirit down as well, so we can utilize the 3-card cycle to help out with this defense. We'll go in Cannon as well up here, and the Goblin Stein will stay alive a little bit longer, which actually helps me with the 3-card cycle. Additionally, we'll go in with the log here as well. He probably just tornadoes it again. I don't really know what the point of the log was there to predict anything. He's just going to tornado it every time. But now we just kind of want to just start earthquake cycling this guy to death. Let's see if we can get an Ice Spirit. We don't have a tornado in this deck, so it's a little bit more difficult than it usually would be. Let's go in with this. No, this Firecracker value is insane, dude. This Firecracker value is insane. Let's go with the Goblin Stein. It doesn't matter that we give up that 1 hog hit. That is perfectly fine. Let's go in with the Earthquake real quick as well. We've got, another Valk to deal with, though. That's going to be a little bit of a pain. Let's go in with a quick Cannon, quick log here as well. I don't know if we're going to be able to get very good Evo Skeletons value out of this, so that's a little bit annoying. Let's go with the Earthquake here, and we should be... Oh, I screwed it up, man. I screwed it up. That is my fault. I definitely could have cleaned up a little bit of the defense at the end. I got a little bit too aggressive, but we were this close to victory, and that deck is still strong, even though we all lose sometimes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. That is an overview of how to play Cycle in the strongest Cycle decks. Have a great rest of your day.